How are you guys? Hello, hello, hello. Get my stuff together here. I hope your Monday started off well. And you had a great day today. And let me make sure my stuff here is just a second. All right. Hello, my dear. How are you? Figuring out my life here. Just a second. All right. I'm glad that we are able to jump on today. Yes, the IG live is that wasn't bad today. But yeah, this version, as far as like it be on my phone, yeah, my laptop, I try to reset it. Like I try to set it to where it's like it's available like ahead of time, but for some reason every time I try to go in, it doesn't prompt me to actually start it. So then I end up having to start it on my phone anyway. So yes, definitely trying to figure out. So listen, I just choose the easy way. Listen, I don't have time to be trying to figure out everything else. Well, thank you so much for joining today, guys. I am excited. We're going to be talking about the truth about happiness today. What brought this on is just my pastor actually taught a little bit about this past weekend, and it really made me like dive into it. So I thought I would just find some affirmations to share. And so I hope that these are helpful for you guys as well. Listen, I'll be trying. So that's what we're talking about today. The truth about happiness. And I think the first truth about happiness is that happiness is based off of what is happening, and joy is basically a choice. So happiness is external, joy is internal. So I think the biggest truth to start with is to understand that if we start chasing happiness in itself, then we're going to get disappointed every time, because happiness is temporal. Again, happiness is based off of what is happening. So anytime that there isn't anything great happening, it's going to be hard to find happiness, right? But if joy comes from within, and if joy is a choice, and if joy is based off of what's happening internally versus what's happening externally, then we have more control over that, right? So we have more control over whether we have joy, and have pretty much no control over whether we have happiness. So a lot of these affirmations are going to be based off of joy, being able to manifest in joy in our lives, and just kind of reminding ourselves of how important joy is. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. A few notes that I put down was happiness is a feeling and joy is a choice. Happiness is based off of how it's happening, and joy is contentment no matter what is happening. And just making sure that we're searching and going after the right things, right? So just making sure, hello Hiru, how are you? Just making sure that like we are chasing and striving for joy and choosing joy versus striving and chasing happiness, because that's where we get disappointed. And will it let me pin it? Yes, I went ahead and pinned it. Perfect. Thank you. So just understanding that we have to shift our focus. Our focus is always on what's going to make me happy. When then it's also about like what is going to, like, once I get here, then I'll be happy. And then when you get there, it's like, okay, now when I get here, then I'll be happy. And then you get there, and then it's like, okay, now when I get here, it's always a moving needle. And we'll never be able to find happiness that way. But choosing joy and finding a way to choose joy is what's most important. So I have 7 affirmations that discussing joy. We'll dig into it, but definitely talk back to me if you feel like I'm wrong, if you feel like, happiness is something that I should still strive for. Like, definitely let me know. Yeah, moving the goalposts is we do that in life all the time, and then wonder why we always sad, depressed, and frustrated. So yes, just talk back to me. Let me know what your thoughts are as far as like happiness versus joy, and we'll dive into the affirmations. So the first affirmation is true joy comes from within, and I nurture it by embracing my authentic self. True joy comes from within, and I nurture it by embracing my authentic self. So just understanding that, again, joy comes from within. So yeah, we up. We up. True joy comes from within. And the way that you nurture the joy that is within is by embracing your authentic self. So the more that you know about yourself, the more that you care for yourself, the more that you show yourself self-compassion, the more that you cultivate your values, and not just like what your goals are, but what you actually truly value outside of what your goals are. The more that you embrace that, the more that you accept yourself, the more that you accept who you are and accept your good with the bad, accepting your faults with your strengths, the more that you do that, the easier it will be for you to cultivate joy. It will be easier for you to find joy no matter where you find yourself, versus trying to chase the temporal happiness externally. So true joy comes from within, and I nurture it by embracing my authentic self. That's number 1. Number 2, I acknowledge that challenges are a part of this life's journey, and I find joy in overcoming them. I acknowledge that challenges are a part of this life's journey, and I find joy in overcoming them. So it's just kind of like when we talked about, I want to say, it was several weeks ago when we talked about trusting the process. We have to find joy in the process just as much as we find joy in the prize, right? So if we're striving for something and we're going through a process of trying to reach something, and it's kind of like that goalpost thing, right? Where we're trying to strive for this thing, and once we get there, we know for a fact that we're going to be happy, and then we get there and then realize that we're not happy, and then we try to strive for something else. But if you find joy or look for joy in the process of hitting that goal, you'll have so much more gratitude when you actually reach the goal, for one. But 2, the process isn't as grueling. The process to get there isn't as frustrating and isn't as hard because of the fact that you're able to actually enjoy the process and find joy in that process. So I acknowledge that challenges are a part of this life's journey, and I find joy in overcoming them is important, because if you can actually enjoy the process and enjoy even the challenges, there's sometimes where I even find myself, I am happy that I'm being challenged in something. It makes it more rewarding when I actually hit the goal to say, oh my gosh, this was challenging. This happened, that happened. There was frustrating moments, but at the end of the day, I learned this, and this is going to help me in my next goal. So I acknowledge that challenges are a part of this life's journey, and I find joy in overcoming them is so key and is so important. So that's number 2. Number 3, joy flows effortlessly into my life, bringing light and positivity. Joy flows effortlessly into my life, bringing light and positivity. So this is kind of like a faith-based affirmation, right? So just shifting our mindset to understand that joy flows effortlessly, and I can have that joy flow to me. And the way that I have that joy flow to me is by choosing it, is by internally choosing joy every day, no matter what circumstances I find myself in. Some days that choosing joy is going to be easier than others, but at the end of the day, I want joy to flow to me effortlessly. And bringing that light and positivity. And the more I'm able to bring that light and positivity, the better off I'll be as far as like navigating this life's journey and navigating this life's challenges. So joy flows effortlessly into my life. Bringing light and positivity is number 3. Awesome. Number 4, joy is my natural state of being, and I let go of anything that dims that light. Joy is my natural state of being, and I let go of anything that dims that light. So number 4 kind of goes back to 3 as far as like joy flowing to us effortlessly, joy being a natural state of being. But the other piece of that is, and I let go of anything that dims that light. Sometimes it's hard for us to find joy because it's hard for us to let go of the things that are not serving us, right? So what's that one gospel song about joy coming in the morning? Actually, I listen to one like that every morning. So it's but I listen to like a more updated version of it. So the one that I listen to is Ty Tribbett's Only One Night Though, I think it's called. Yeah, that's what it's called. I can look it up actually. It is called, yes, Ty Tribbett, Only One Night Though. And it talks about joy, but it's a good like feel good song to listen to. Is that what it's called? Let me look it up. Yeah. It's on the All Things New album, Ty Tribbett, Only One Night Though Live. That's I listen to that actually every morning. And a lot of it has a lot of it has it's like a feel good song to start the day, and it talks about joy. Joy comes in the morning. A lot of good mornings is in the song, so it's very affirmative. So yeah, it's definitely someone that I listen to. I actually listen to that song every morning, for the most part. But yes, so dang, I done forgot where I'm at. Hold on, let me go back. Joy is my natural state of being, and I let go of anything that dims that light. Yes, so I let go of anything that dims that light is what's most important, because the more that we let go of the things that bring us down, that are not in our best interest, that actually create the depression, the frustration, and the stress, those are the things that are holding us back from joy. Now, granted, life is going to be hard, right? There's going to be instances where we're not going to be able to get rid of things, in our lives. I get that. But there are some things that you can think of even now, or some people, okay, that you can think of even right now, that is in your life, and you like, I know that this person isn't good for me. I know this thing isn't good for me, but I keep it around for whatever reason. And a lot of times that is what's hindering joy. That's what's hindering us being able to find contentment and peace within ourselves. So if there's a particular situation, a particular person, a particular challenge, or just something in your life that's just kind of pressing really, and dimming the light of joy in your life, really think through what those things are, and even journal it. Like if it's something that you have to sit and journal on, and really kind of think about, okay, this is something that I know that's in my life that's frustrating me, that's creating stress, that I know probably shouldn't be in my life, but for whatever reason, I'm keeping it here. Whether it's a security blanket or it's just familiar to you. Sometimes trauma and sometimes trauma and triggers, even though it sounds weird, but a lot of times those things are actually feel good, like they feel familiar. And because they feel familiar and you're comfortable with that in itself, we keep those things in our lives versus just letting them go, because letting them go feels harder or seems like it would be worse. But in actuality or reality, it will put you in a better state of being. So like thinking about those things and really journaling about those things is going to be what's important, and why this affirmation is important, because a lot of times we're just not able to find joy within ourselves because we can't let things go. So, and letting things go isn't even just a matter of control. It's also a matter of anxiety. And we get anxious, or we overthink situations. And because of that, we just hold on to them versus just letting it go. Or we turn avoidant. So we start avoiding things just because it's easier to avoid the situation versus dealing with it head on. So later for that, we're going to put our big kitty pants on, and we're going to deal with the stuff so that way we can find joy, y'all. That's the only way. Addicted to the pain because it's familiar. Absolutely. That's what it talks about, like just people who are victims of like domestic violence, or like victims of any victims of anything when it comes to like just relationships. A lot of times if you find yourself addicted to drama, some people are addicted to drama. Some people can't sit in quietness, because if it's too quiet, then that's frustrating, that's stressful. So if there's situations in your lives that you're holding on to just because it feels comfortable, ask yourself why, and continuing to ask yourself why until you come to a conclusion of there ain't no why. It's just I'm doing it because I want to. And when you get to that point, that's when you're like, okay, I gotta make some changes. I gotta make some adjustments. Awesome. That was number 4. Number 5. I am worthy of experiencing joy and find contentment in its benefit. I am worthy of experiencing joy and find contentment in its benefit. So a lot of times we have a tough time experiencing joy or finding joy and looking for the happiness versus joy, because we don't feel like we're worthy of the experience. So we do things like self-sabotage, we overthink things, we divulge in imposter syndrome, we set ourselves up for failure versus setting ourselves up for success. And a lot of that is because we don't feel like we're worthy of it. So we don't feel like we're worthy to have joy, whether it be as a person or as an individual or in a particular situation. So like say you're okay with finding joy in other areas, but when it comes to relationships, you because of your past, your experiences, your traumatic experiences, your triggers, you feel like you're not worthy of whatever relationship that you really truly want to find. And so when you do find something remotely close, you self-sabotage it, you mess it up on purpose, and or you mess it up on purpose underlining, so you're not really realizing you're messing it up, but you're messing it up just because of the fact that you don't feel like you're worthy of it. So this is just a reminder of you are worthy of experiencing joy, and you can find contentment in that benefit of joy. So understanding that you're worthy, you can experience joy, you can get all of the benefits and the contentment of experiencing joy, and you don't have to apologize for it. So that was I am worthy of experiencing joy and find contentment in its benefit. Number 6, all things good or bad serve my greater good, and I find joy and contentment in knowing that. All things good or bad serve my greater good, and I find joy and contentment in knowing that. That was a bit controversial, because people sometimes think like, how is the bad benefiting me? How are the bad things that happen in my life How is that making things better, or how is that working out for me? And I always like kind of result back to this statement of course, all things work together for our good, for for those who are called, but also thinking through just like there are bad situations that I can think back on that if those things didn't happen, a lot of the good wouldn't have happened. So if the bad doesn't happen, then the good doesn't happen. So then how do I get to the good without the bad? Right? I know that I hope that didn't sound confusing, but that's kind of how I think about it. Like understanding that those challenges are not just are those good things are not just serving us, but those challenges are also serving us. They're serving us lessons. They're serving us the experience that we need to learn in regards to whatever's coming our way. It's serving us preparedness. It's serving us so many different things that we don't think about. And as we sit down and really think about, okay, these bad situations, how does this serve me? And really thinking through those things, then you'll be able to shift to joy. Then you'll be able to shift to gratitude. Then you'll be able to shift to thankfulness. And so when it comes to situations, especially even if you find yourself in a challenging situation right now, think about how this serves you, right? This bad situation is happening. It's not something that I can control. It's not something that I can change. How is it serving me? How is this making me a better person? How is this giving me a new experience? How am I learning from this? What lessons can I get from this? How does this point me into the direction of where I need to go? And you may not see it in that moment. There are times where certain situations, come up and you're just like, why? Like, why is this happening? And why is this happening now? So you may not be able to see it. It may not be a question that you can always answer in that moment, but always think, keep those thoughts in mind as you're navigating that challenge to say, this is happening. It's obviously happening for a reason. What am I supposed to learn from this, and how is this serving me? Are great questions to ask to help you navigate those challenging situations. And also thinking of those challenging situations as it's happening for you versus it happening to you. I know that I've said that before, but like changing that 2 to 4 makes all the difference and puts a whole lot more a different series of questions in your mind when you say something is happening for you versus it happening to you. Trying not to stay in the victim mindset too long. Not to say that having that mindset is bad, but staying in that mindset for a long time is what creates the depression, is what creates frustration and burnout, and it's what creates the continued anger and bitterness, and it just kind of spirals from there. So if you find yourself in a victim mindset, it's okay. It's okay to find yourself there, but finding ways to pull yourself out of it so that way it doesn't spiral. So yes, all things good or bad serve my greater good, and I find joy and contentment in knowing that. That was number 6. And last but not least, number 7, gratitude is the gateway to joy, and I express appreciation for the beauty around me. Gratitude is the gateway to joy, and I express appreciation for the beauty around me. So yeah, so just kind of understanding, like I know we have talked about joy. I know that awesome. Thank you so much for ordering. I know that we have talked about joy and how we need to cultivate and choose joy, but you're like, Debbie, like, what am I supposed to, like, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to do that? So the answer is always going to be shifting your mindset to gratitude, finding ways, again, like asking the question of how does this serve me is always a good way to kind of shift your mind to gratitude, but also just not just asking that question, but also just finding like, okay, based off of where I'm at right now, what do I have that is in my possession that I can be grateful for? Whether it be a physical thing or an emotional thing or a spiritual thing, where can I find gratitude in this moment? And that's usually or typically how you can shift your emotions in general, but specifically shifting from anger or frustration or stress or anxiety into joy or to at least contentment or peace. And that's gratitude. Gratitude is that one thing that you can't feel with any other emotion. So when it comes to gratitude, if you actually can bring yourself to a feeling of gratitude, the rest of it kind of dissipates. And that's where you'll be able to find the joy, the peace, the areas of the life that you are able to find contentment in. So gratitude is the gateway to joy, and that's what that means. So if you ever find yourself in a challenging situation where you're spiraling, gratitude is where you start. Almost always is where you start. So whether that be a gratitude journal, writing gratitude statements, whether that be through meditation or prayer, however you feel like you need to find gratitude. Music is also another way to kind of push you into that gratitude moment. So sometimes it may take for you to change your playlist for a while. Sometimes I'll go on music fasts, where I just like basically only listen to a certain genre of music that is inspirational, that is cheerful, that is happy. Because a lot of times we're finding ourselves easily falling into anger and frustration and stress and depression because of the music that we're listening to. So I have like a gratitude. There's a few different playlists that I have, but I have like a gratitude playlist or a energy shifting playlist, I like to call it too, which is basically any song that makes me like instantly happy in the first like 5 seconds of the song is going on a playlist. And then when I get into these moments of like, I just feel horrible, sucky, frustrated, I'm angry, I'm just like all over the place, then I throw that on. And I have different variations of it. I have a gospel Christian one. I just have just like a playful, like fun one where I just like songs that just make me dance. There's ones that just are like nostalgia, like so just like, songs that remind me of childhood that, make me happy in that regard. Those are like little oldies and things, like oldie songs that I like to listen to. So that would be like the Temptations, some stylistic, some old stuff that makes me think of my dad or makes me think of just like old stuff. So you can have different playlists, but really thinking of ways that you'll be able to shift to gratitude quickly. It could be a hobby, if you like to paint, if you like to decorate, if you like to color, if you like any of those things, and having those things on deck, so that way you're able to easily shift. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you. So just making sure that you find ways to shift to gratitude and have multiple ways of shifting to gratitude. So that way, again, it's a gateway. So that way you're able to shift your whole mindset and regulate your emotions at any given time. I have a manifestation playlist that switches my mood, but you're right. I need different playlists from different eras, genres. Yeah, because you may be in a different mood, and sometimes you don't want to hear certain things. And there's like some instances where, like it just also depends on the time of day. So like if it's the morning, I definitely like play like my gospel playlist. If I need like something to try to just get my day going. If it's the middle of the day, then I may play like a fun, like playful playlist to try to get my energy back up, because sometimes my energy will slump like around 2 or 3 o'clock. Or if it's a night one, like I'll play like more of like meditation, like sounds and rain sounds and things like that, just to kind of calm me down. So it just kind of depends on, what, for me, it's the time of day, honestly. Yes. Make sure to like the live. Thank you guys. Thank you. So that's the last one. I hope that these were helpful. I'm gonna go back through the 7. So number 1 was true joy comes from within, and I nurture it by embracing my authentic self. Number 2, I acknowledge that challenges are a part of this life's journey, and I find joy in overcoming them. Number 3, joy flows effortlessly into my life, bringing light and positivity. Number 4, joy is my natural state of being, and I let go of anything that dims that light. Number 5, I am worthy of experiencing joy and find contentment in its benefit. Number 6, all things good or bad serve my greater good, and I find joy and contentment in knowing that. And number 7, gratitude is the gateway to joy, and I express appreciation for the beauty around me. Wordy affirmations today, but they were all great. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that this is a blessing. Yes, Grateful by Hezekiah Walker. Yes, I love that one. And I say stuff just to play. You're funny. I love it. Keep it going. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful and beneficial. And we definitely will keep the live going. I don't know what we're talking about next week. I didn't get there yet. And I also don't know really what the meditation is going to be on this week either. I know that it should be on joy, but I feel like I have a lot on joy, so I have to look and see what I actually have and see if I can do a different joy one. If not, then I'll probably just do something totally different. If you haven't got my book, definitely check out Non-Self, Let Me Be Great. This is the workbook. So this is Overcome the Inspiration and Workbook. So this one has like my actual story in it, along with the workbook sections. And then you may also see the other one on Amazon, which is the journal. So that one's just like a journal content one, where you can just kind of fill in the information. This one actually has the my story in it. So some people had DM'd me about this, and I think I might have got one email on it. But there's 2 different ones. So this one is the one that has Overcoming Self-Doubt, Inspiration, and Workbook. This is the one that has my story attached. And the one that has journal on it, that's the one that just is the journal. The Bing Bong song, what is that? No. I had no idea. I'm like, what is that? That is so funny. Yes. So make sure to grab the books. Like I said, the journal. Let me see if I actually have it. Do I have a journal? Actually, I do. Hold on. Just so that way you guys see the difference. So this is the one with my story, the one with the white here. And then this is the one that's just the journal. So this one has like morning check-ins. And this is more so for you to just kind of journal. So this is like an empty one. So this has like morning check-ins and then weekly check-ins. So that's what this one is. Some people didn't know the difference. So I want to make sure that I show both, so that way nobody gets confused. So this one has my story. This is what that one looks like. And this one is actually thicker. So this one is a thicker version. So that way you guys know the difference. But yeah, check those out. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Oh, awesome. Definitely let me know how you like it. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm so happy that that everyone was able to go on and see them. And I love feedback. So feel free to shoot me a DM or email me with any questions, feedback from the book as you read through it. And many blessings to you all. Yes, from the UK. I remember you be up in the morning too, huh? Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure to share the live out with your friends, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye.